Let's bring in Steve Stone, who was part of the Cubs broadcast for 20 seasons. Steve is here to promote his new book. Congratulations on it, Set in Stone.
Thank you.
We will get to that in a few moments. Have you ever had any run-ins with Zambrano in your 20 years with the Cubs?
No, I always thought that Carlos was a very good pitcher. He is a good pitcher. He's been the ace of that staff for some time. However, I agree with Mark. He's never been a particularly good teammate, and that's a problem. I think one of the things that the Cubs have always missed is the semblance of a 25-man baseball team. It's a 25-man piece of the puzzle. And you can have good players, but unless they all fit together, unless you have a leadoff man and a real good guy at 2, and then you have a lot of guys who understand it's a long season, you're going to have your ups and downs. Things are better sometimes left in the clubhouse than out in the media. Let's face it, Chicago is a tough town to play in because of the scrutiny of the media. It's always been that way. Carlos has had his emotional outbursts, and he went through the anger management, and he goes through the bat-breaking episodes. And so that in itself is not reason to move him. But I think if Carlos would decide to come off his no trade, I think the Cubs would be happy to move him. Number one, they would save some money. Number two, they're obviously going to go into a rebuilding phase. Probably Ramirez will not be back. There's a good chance, well, Fukudome won't be back. They're going to get about $40 or so odd million back. And the question is, how are they going to spend it? The last time they had that money to spend, when Sam Zell wanted to essentially make his team look a whole lot better by accruing a great deal of long-term debt, it's the first time I've ever remembered taking an asset, accruing long-term debt, and thinking it's going to be more valuable, but that's what he did. It wasn't spent very well.
All right, so who do you let rebuild this team? A lot of Cubs fans want Jim Hendry gone. He may be gone at the end of the year, but the person overseeing the trade deadline moves could be Hendry. I mean, is that a bad thing if you're letting him go at the end of the year?
I don't really know. I know that he has a contract through the next year, and that's something that was given to him through the last administration. And I heard a long time ago that if you're running any enterprise, you don't have to be a genius to be successful. All you have to do is be smart enough to know what you don't know and go out and find somebody who does. We'll see what happens, because so far, this team is not playing real well. What Carlos said actually happens to be pretty accurate.
Right.
And he just chose a real bad time to say it. But two numbers come jumping out at you. Number one, they're 7-19 against the Central. That's not going to go away. And number two, they're 11-19 at home. If you can't beat your division and you can't win at home, you're going to have a terrible year, and they're heading that way.